Mic check. I used to cop a lot, but never cop no drop. Hold mics like ponytails tight and bobble ops.
Yeah, we're just doing it. We're just gonna talk. Yeah, yeah. So how was the drive over here? Was it rough, or was it raining out, or traffic or anything?
It was good. It was
Yeah.
easy. They had a lot of these these signs. It was like what did it say? Oh, tolls are suspended, which is perfect because so is my license. All right.
I saw that last night, and then I've been seeing they've been putting on every single sign, or like make sure you're prepped or something. Or maybe I just never noticed. Have you ever seen them put that up there before?
No.
On the street, like that's
Make sure you're prepped.
Make sure you're prepped. It was something like that.
No.
But anyways, it was like prep for the hurricane or something weird. I've never seen them put anything like that on just like the highway signs. I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I mean, if you're living in Tampa, sure, prep, get away. But
Yeah.
it's over here on like 95 when it's sunny out yesterday. I'm like, prepare for the hurricane. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't. No, but I don't care for them. I look for silver alerts, and that's really it.
Yeah, when it's like 2008 blue Honda Civic, we gotta find there's a kidnapped child in the back seat.
Yeah, I do love those. I've never found one, but I always want to know, like, if I do hunt this down, what is that gonna look like?
Yeah.
But no, yeah, because I'm never prepared. I don't know, and I feel like Floridians, we're not really taking it as seriously. Like I left Florida in 2017, like right when Irma happened or whatever. I don't know. But back then people were freaking out. Like everything was sold out. No gas. There's nothing. Maybe that's how it is in Tampa. But I don't know. I think I'm just so desensitized from living life the past 7 years. Like I lived in Portland, Oregon for a while, and just the news, everyone's panicking. It's just too much to keep track. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So now, my phone's blowing up. Hurricane, get prepared.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess the easiest way is to just like try to avoid all that. Because I had like a short period of time where I was like off of social media. Before I started comedy, I had no Instagram, no Facebook, whatever. And I started to enjoy life more. And I'm just like, I'm not being overwhelmed with constant bullshit on my phone unless I like go out of my way to look it up, you know? Right. And do you watch the news?
No.
No, like I feel like nobody watches the news unless it comes up on like TikTok or Instagram Reels, you know? Yeah. And that point, that's scary.
Yeah, that's true. I only watch the news if it's trending.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I don't really care. I get enough of that for like my family. They eat it up. They love it. And like I just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, they're like, oh, how are you going to Taco Bell? Do you know what they put in the meat? And I was like, Mom, I don't know what word. I don't know. I can't really talk about this, to be honest.
Yeah, whatever you want to say.
It's too crazy.
You know, it's. I get what you're saying though, because I've met people in my life that are in that position, and it's just like it's like a bubble that you want to pop, but you can't pop it because you're just like they can't help themselves unless they want to.
Yeah, I can't do it. And even now, like with the hurricane, it's like I've seen an alarming amount of. I've never seen a hurricane come from west to east. They're manufacturing this. I see like too many, like kind of all the time, and I don't know what to make of that. Like, because at the beginning it's like, oh, cool, like another conspiracy theory, but now I'm like, it's just like so much. It's like it's another what they put in the Taco Bell meat. It's like I can't keep track of all of these things, like
There's a pointless end to it.
Yeah.
And I'm a conspiracy type person, and I dip more than my toes. I go waist deep, as Duncan Trussell says. So like I like to be 50-50 in. So I like to go down the paths and explore them and like feel like I can believe it for a moment. And if I do, where does that lead me, kind of thing? Like any other conspiracy theory that anybody thinks about.
Sure.
I feel like that's the way they take it. But some people, it's almost like the complete opposite of like the people that consume trending news and trending media and ingest and believe it all. It's like the opposite spectrum of that. It's just people who are so deep into it, like instead of waist deep, they're head deep into it, and they think it's so real that they just don't think there's any other options.
Yeah, but that's so. I mean, it's true. But it's just so crazy to me because I'm like, okay, well, if this, I mean, I have to take these conspiracy theories like in isolation. Like, if this one theory is true, like, do you know what would need to happen for that to be true? Like, I don't know, all the series of events, like the moon landing wasn't real, which, okay, maybe, I don't know. I do not want to talk about conspiracy theories, but it's just so crazy to think, because I get amped up. Believe it, I know I'm pretty mellow, I'm pretty cool right now, but I can get amped up.
No, let's get you amped up. I'm ready to see it, dude.
Well, one more tea and I'll be, yeah, I don't know.
That caffeine will make it come out real quick.
I know.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I think about one conspiracy theory that debunks all the conspiracy theories.
Okay.
There is a conspiracy theory that in the 60s, the Soviet Union had a plan to invade the United States government and basically like infiltrate it. And basically there's a conspiracy theory that they did. And ever since then, they've been feeding through media and like all the things that have been happening that have been making people go crazy over time in like media and things like that. And, other things that have happened, like, the moon landing, the Twin Towers, 9/11, all that stuff. Like, basically the theory is that all this was caused by the Soviet Union infiltrating our government and doing all these things purposefully to make people go kind of crazy and collapse the United States, basically overall. So that's one conspiracy theory that I'm like, could be a possibility.
I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know if Russian government like invaded our government or whatever. I don't even think they need to. I think they just needed to create enough Twitter accounts and then create bots, and that's it. That's all. Literally, all it takes is one social media post to go viral, and then they just, they insert all of these things. It's kind of crazy how many I see like on Twitter or X. Didn't mean to dead name Twitter.
Yeah, dead name Twitter.
Whatever. Look, X and Facebook, like so many. So, and I've kind of always thought that too, like, because I would do that. Like America, we're kind of crazy, and we eat this stuff up, and like, I don't know, we take the bait so fast and run with it. It's pretty crazy. So if I was Russian, I would do that.
Advantage of it, yeah.
I would, yeah. It's fun. It's kind of and there's like political gain, I guess, right? If America's so disjointed and it just kind of fighting within. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Fighting within like one another. It's easier to like kind of take down that superpower. But I don't really care about the political side. I just think it's kind of funny that they can really say whatever, and some of these conspiracy theories will stick, and people will be talking about them for 40, 50 years, or, however long. So it's cool stuff. It's a great theory. I subscribe to that one because, except for the part, I don't think Russia's in our government, but I don't think they need to be. They just need to be on the internet long enough, and some Redditor or Facebook post is going to go viral and make our parents crazy, or make our parents believe it. Yeah. Or me. I don't know.
Russian nesting trolls.
Yeah. I believe that.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't think of that as a conspiracy theory. I just think of it as, I don't know. I just think it's funny and fun. But, but not harmless fun, because I guess whatever.
I don't know, man. It's all I think all theories are fun because that's the truth is nobody's ever going to know. Nobody's ever going to know the truth. So all you can really do is have fun with it and explore it. And if you choose to believe it, sure. But, you know, just like a Christian, don't try to rub that shit into people's faces, you know.
All right.
Not just a Christian. I'm not like trying to, I'm religious. You see the cross, but no, you know, like people that like not overall, I'm trying to make an overall general statement, but like the people that be rubbing religion in people's faces when it's just like everybody's got to go down their own path, you know. Sure. But I didn't mean to flip the script so much and turn it from politics to religion.
That's good. Let's treat it like Thanksgiving dinner. No, I don't know. That's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Wait, what were you saying about religion? Wait,
I don't know.
Are we going down this path? I'll do it.
I mean, whatever. I was just saying, just like it's you believe in something, there's no need to push it onto other people and make them think what they think is wrong. Just like let everybody think what they want, kind of thing. Yeah, it's just a really weird comparison.
I hear about that all the time because that's like the counter argument is like, oh well, we don't know. It could be real or it could be fake. Like who knows? I don't know, but I can't just be living my life with like all of these different alternative realities could be real. Like I need to I don't know. I need some something to grab onto, like some thing that I think like, no, like these things can't be true. Someone can't just throw a theory at me. And I'm like, oh yeah, like, oh, that could be true. The moon landing could be fake or like, Russian government is I don't know because that's crazy. I've got enough going on for me because like I just can't give a shit. I don't care enough about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is kind of cool. It is kind of fun. It's funny to think about, but like some people are so invested, they buy 10 years worth of like space food in preparation for like the end of time. They liquidate all their money. Like they go really balls to the wall with it. Which is fine. I don't know, repost things that I think are kind of funny. Like, oh, maybe this will get some people riled up, and that's it. But who knows? I might have shared things that convinced someone else to like just sell their life savings, invest in space food, and just go off the grid. Because who knows? I don't know. I share a lot of conspiracy theories, even though I don't necessarily agree. But I just think it's funny.
I'm so glad you haven't seen my bunker yet.
Shit!
I got a bunker in the backyard. It's packed full of space food for the next
Is this
10
real?
years now. I actually was looking into building a bunker. I'm not gonna lie, because I get a little, and I think it's just from consuming things on the internet. You're just like, oh my god, the world's ending, and I'm like, wait, they want us to think the world's ending. Relax, Alex. It's nice outside.
I know. I think that's Russia doing their job. Well, I don't really think it's Russia, but I think, that's fun. I don't know. I've had family members who are like, they'll invest in all this space food. It's crazy. I don't know.
Like the Costco, they got the Costco bin now. It's just a big bin that you can pay like $120 for, and it's like a year's worth of food for your family or something.
Yeah. And you'll buy like literally like a whole basement full of just, it's kind of crazy. I'm kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit, but I can't believe in all that stuff. Like I just can't. I like to live in my own little world. Kind of like, I don't know. I've got school, I've got music, comedy, and fiance, and like just live in that. I can't worry about like the political, like all these conspiracy, all these things that are just gonna like shake my whole reality. Because I got enough going on, you know.
That's the only way to like relax and be happy is to just live your day-to-day life and do things that make you happy, you know.
Yeah, that's all I try to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so let's see. We're talking about religion.
If you want to get into that, you keep circling back, so I'm starting to think you got something to tell me.
No, I don't.
Tell me, brother, preach it.
No, I don't have. I don't have a lot of religion stuff, but I just, no, I was just referencing it.
Are you religious in general at all?
I don't know. My parents gonna see this. No, I grew up like, I think I believe in God. Like I grew up, but I have kind of a weird background. Like I grew up going to like Christian school and like doing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I like started high school, public school, and I started doing drugs and just like doing. And I think my parents were convinced that it's because I stopped going to private school and all that stuff. And maybe, who knows? But yeah, I think my life definitely kind of fell apart at that point a little bit, just like going crazy high school, just like doing that stuff. And then since then, like I've been sober for a while now. And with that, like I do like to think like God intervened in some way, whatever that may be. Maybe it's not like a chiseled Jesus that you see, like on those pictures, but maybe I don't really know. But I like to think it's something. So I don't know if that makes me religious, but I do believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
But do I believe like these exact like
depictions?
These translations, like
yeah.
I don't think, not at face value, probably not. Some of the stories are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Jonah got swallowed by a whale. I don't know. We don't got to go down religion, but it's like some of it is kind of. I can't believe it at face value, but like maybe pieces of it, and I'll subscribe to my own kind of idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? So, yep, cool.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I was, well, a little different, obviously, but I was raised Catholic. We called it Baptist Catholic because I would go to Catholic school with my parents sometimes, and then when I'd stay with my grandpa, my grandma would drag us to Baptist church, which is so much more fun than Catholic church. But yeah, we were raised Baptist Catholic, and then my grandfather died, and I was like kind of like, same thing, high school, doing drugs, giving myself to people I shouldn't have been giving myself to, doing stupid kid things, like most people do. And same thing, I was just like, I got to a point in my life where I was like, what am I doing? Like, I was at the lowest point of my life, and I was literally begging on my knees in my bedroom, and I'm just like, all right, give me something, because this is it. And I literally begged God like I hadn't talked to him, whatever it is, in years. And right after that night, like, everything in my life started like slowly changing, and then literally like 3 months later I started doing comedy. So it was kind of like
Oh, wow.
and I started feeling better about myself and life in general, and just like everything started kind of snowballing into like, all right, I believe in something, because I was whatever in the devil was going on with me, whatever was possessing me to have fucked up thoughts. It was like to have something intervene and flip my perspective, because I know that didn't come from me. I can't just flip my, I'm a little bipolar, but not really, not medically, but no, but it's just like to have it happen so quickly. It's like, all right, there's something out there. And same thing, like I just started rereading the Bible as an adult, barely, like only when it's in a hotel room nightstand. But it's like the depictions that you understood growing up of how he looks, and like the stories, like they don't teach you like the background of like you don't understand that stuff as a kid, so the stuff is very simple. But yeah, I same thing. I don't believe in the same depictions as what we were raised on. But yeah, there's something out there that's helping me get along. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
but I'm in the same boat for sure. But religion is fun.
Religion, yeah, it's okay. I know that's so funny you brought up those like little Bibles at the hotel. My grandfather, he was like a big partier, kind of crazy with it, and then all of a sudden he had the famous like white light experience where went from smoking, gambling, just doing whatever, and then he just went very clean, sober, no more gambling, and just turned his life over, which I thought was really cool, because like I've always known him as like a straight-laced guy, but he I think for the next like 40 something years he dedicated a lot of his life to donating those little Bibles into hotels and stuff, and like the Gideon, I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool. I would never do that. But no, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And it's just crazy. Like, I don't know. I got a kind of a crazy background with that too. Like, like where something, life got so bad. It's like, well, what do I have to do to make it better? And then maybe it wasn't like a white light, but something shifted, and I figured out, and like almost immediately, like, oh, this is what I have to do. I got that clarity. It sounds like for you it was like comedy or something, and for me it was stop doing drugs. And I was like, oh, which in retrospect, it doesn't sound like it's that profound, but when you're like 18 years old, I don't know. It took a lot to get to that point. Yeah, and like I'm 30 now. It's been a while, but that moment kind of stuck with me, and it makes it hard for me to like in spite of all of that, to think like, oh, there's no God. Like I don't know. All right.
No.
Politics, religion, what else?
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
No, it's just, I don't know you. I don't know you. We've only really had short, very, very short conversations here and there. So this is the main thing I really like about this, is because people that I work with, I can actually kind of get to know you outside of just casually running into each other at comedy clubs where you can't really talk to people. And when you are talking to people, we're usually just shooting the shit mostly. It's nothing serious most of the time. So, but it's nice to actually get to know people that I'm probably going to be around for the rest of their lives, because I'd like to live longer.
Yeah, sure.
No. So, when did you start doing comedy?
Yeah, pretty recently, actually, December, so almost a year ago. But I've always been interested in comedy. I've always riffed, I guess. I spent a lot of my life bartending, waiting tables, and just getting laughs with guests or whatever. But it's very short lived, because I could be funny for in 3 seconds, like a short, quick interaction, quick joke. If it bombs, that's great. Like, oh, I'm in the weeds, I'm busy, whatever. But it wasn't until recently where I was like, man, I want to try stand up, because I thought about actually doing improv, because of I was always thinking on my feet. But then it just made me nervous to think. I was like, man, I don't want to, I kind of like a plan, right? Even though I'm not a doomsday prepper, I do want a plan of okay, I'm going to try stand up, I'll write a set, go up and try it out. And I kind of fell in love with it immediately, even though I bombed pretty hard. But ever since I got my first laugh from probably my opening joke, which wasn't even that good, but it was enough to be like, oh, I could do this more, But yeah, I'm pretty new at it, but that's mostly throughout my life. I've liked getting laughs, and I'm like, oh, how do I turn this into a hobby that makes a little money sometimes, So, yeah. What about you? You're pretty new too, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started a couple months before you. I'm about to hit my year in a couple weeks. Yeah, no, my whole life was always surrounded by comedy, but I've been telling people this, I never ever had the even inkling that was even a job. I just thought it was pure entertainment. I never thought it was something I could do, because I used to as far as I can remember, Jim Carrey movies, Eddie Murphy, Coming to America. I've been watching all that stuff since I was a kid. Started watching stand-up really young because my grandpa loved stand-up. My dad loved stand-up. Ron White, Larry the Cable Guy, because my grandpa was a redneck Italian, craziest combination. But yeah, he would watch them. We'd watch him. All the dirty shit I'd listened to when I was a kid, so I was exposed to it really young. And then my dad actually took me to my first stand-up show when I was 13 in New York City. And I was in the front row. It was a basement comedy club. It wasn't a big club. And it was funny because 13-year-old with her dad, of course they're gonna, point us out, and they did. And I don't know, my whole life was surrounded by stand-up. And when I finally started doing it, it's almost like everything's come full circle for me, and I'm like, God, like it's almost like my whole life has been leading up to this, and it's like crazy. I know it sounds gay, but it's like that's how I think about it. It's just like it's almost like God has been telling me like, all right, Alex, this is what you're supposed to do. And I'm just like, I know I suck right now, but I'm gonna get better, bitch. Watch me.
Yeah.
No, but comedy is fun. I mean, ever since I did my first set, I didn't completely bomb because I'm a woman. So as a woman, it's really easy to make the first time male comics see you. And I'm like being like, I'm kind of joking, but I'm also being serious because like when male comics first see a female and they've never met her before and they don't know her and she's kind of funny, like I had some okay for my first time. If we're being at that level, like I did good, I got laughs and like it was easy to get laughs. So because I got the laughs, I got off stage and just the pure like just like tingling in my body, I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. I'd never felt a feeling like that before, and I was like, I got to do this. Like I've already said this, but like when I came home that night, I literally walked up to my husband, which, you know, being with somebody for 10 years, I'm so lucky he's supportive because he probably could have just been like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? You want to do stand up for the rest of your life? But I came home, I was like, I have to do this. I can't stop doing this. And he was like, okay. And I'm just like, all right. So I've been doing it ever since. But yeah, no, did you have the same like type of feelings when you got off stage? Like it was just like a drug hit kind of?
Yeah, it was pretty close to that, I think, because I mean, I did get some laughs for sure, but I was still, I mean, yeah, it's not like everything hit, and I didn't expect everything to hit because I got to the point because I didn't want to obsess over like my first 5 minute set. I was like, oh, everything's got to be perfect, because it won't be, right? I just wanted to go up with some lukewarm material and just try a couple jokes that like I liked. But yeah, when I got off, I was like, man, I love this. This is pretty good. And then after a couple more sets, I started having more of a polished set, and I started actually doing, I think, kind of good. And then I was really hooked. That was like, it was like trying bunkweed for the first time. It was my first set. It was like, all right, kind of high, whatever. But then you get, I don't even know what kids call it these days, but that good, that good shit.
That good.
Yeah. Do they still say that?
I don't know. That's what I used to say.
Yeah, me too. But like, I think I'm old now. So
yeah, I think we're getting old, dude.
I'm afraid to use any lingo that I used to use. But yeah, and then ever since then, I've just been super hooked. Because I've always loved, like, so my family, they're all very musical and very funny. And so that's kind of all I wanted to do. So I've been playing guitar for like, 10 years now. It's very fun. I love it. But it kind of moves the needle differently compared to comedy. Like, it's just very different to me. Like, music's very emotional. It's fun, high energy. But comedy, I don't know. I like being like witty and just coming up with conflicting ideas that shouldn't go together, but I connected them. And I love that. And that's kind of what a lot of my family members were like, my grandfather, my uncles. Yeah. So I remember, I guess we're kind of on the topic, but because when I started comedy, I was talking to like my family members who I think were like some of the funniest people I've ever met, bouncing ideas off of them. And it sucks because like, all right. Well, recently they died, which sucks, right? And they're super young, heart attack, awful. 2 uncles within the 3 months or whatever. So part of me, like that was tough, right? But part of me is like, oh, I want to move forward and continue doing comedy, even though I already loved it. I started to fall more in love with it, and then now it's like, okay, like I have all this stuff going on, but I want to continue doing comedy in spite of all of that, because like I want to carry on the humor, right, that I think existed within my family. However, sounds stupid, but yeah. So that's been a big motivator, I think, recently. But it's been good. It's been fun, because yeah, I don't know. I've always kind of valued humor, and it's been super, like, all throughout my family. It's been really prevalent. And I want to do whatever I can to keep that going. And for right now, that's bombing at open mics and taking chances. But yeah, that's kind of how I got involved with it. Like, and I don't know. I've always just been around I think a funny family, and it stuck with me. Right. So cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I can relate to that because, I mean, not on the level, but like, I've had a couple rough patches over this past year of doing comedy, and literally, comedy has made it not stick with me as it like used to, you know, like if I would go through a rough patch, I'd like let it hang on for days, but like comedy has been a way for me to kind of like, you know, help it, like you said, like motivate, like push me forward and make me better in general. So I appreciate even though it sucks, like shit sucks in life. Like, I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but I mean, like, what else are you gonna do? You know, you can either let it like really hurt you and keep you down, or you can utilize that to motivate you and let it be a positive, you know, at least outcome in the long run.
Yeah.
But who am I to say? I can't tell.
Yeah, no, I think
that's just the way I try to think about it.
Yeah. I try to do whatever I can. I don't know. I've always kind of leveraged humor as like maybe a defense mechanism. As a masking emotion for whatever. But I don't really care. I don't know. Funny is funny to me, and sometimes I was talking to my dad about this earlier actually, like even when I like laughing even when that's like the most inappropriate time to laugh, like to make a joke about something. Like I wrote, well, like one joke. So I was going up for a funeral and I came up with a joke that I really like. It's like, oh, I just flew in from a funeral and boy, is my uncle dead. And I love it. I remember doing the dishes thinking of that. I was like, God. And yeah, of course I'm sad, but that for some reason, that like a little idea I love it. I don't know. And there's something about that really just stuck with me. Like, I don't know. Like, oh, I shouldn't be laughing. I shouldn't be joking about something like that. But like, why not? I don't know. It makes me feel better. Right. So, and I like that. And I think that's something special about that. So.
No, I had the same experience when my dog died. And not the same because
it's the same.
Uncle dog, you know, difference. But when we were burying my dog in the backyard, I was thinking of fucked up shit in my head and like crying at the same time. But I'm just like, oh. And I ended up doing a joke about it, which somebody gave me a better tag for it. But because I had a shitty tag that was kind of like a hack tag. It was like a 13th reason why kind of thing, and I was like, I need something better. So no, I was saying I just had to put my dog down the other day. I'm gonna need you guys to laugh, otherwise I'm fucking killing the other one. And that was how I was opening my sets for a while, and it was working. But Matt gave me the tag of otherwise I'm killing the other one, because I was like, that's great, that's perfect.
It's so funny.
But it helped me feel better. Like I was literally like, it's like going to therapy on stage for me, because if I can make someone else laugh about something that I'm going through, I'm like, this is great. Because I've done other jokes about like rough patches that I've been going through, and I'm like, oh, like this helps me, and I like it.
Yeah, I love it too. Yeah, there's something, I don't know, there's something fun about laughing when I shouldn't be happy, or it shouldn't be funny, but I don't know. And then even in my head, I chase that even further. Like if I did that joke and it didn't work on stage, for some reason that would even be funnier to me. It's like, because I thought that was going to work and it still didn't. And here I am. So I was like, it's a win-win, right? Either way. Cool. Let's see. We got politics, religion, death. Cool.
What's next? Trans people?
All right. I'm listening.
You're listening? Well, I'm one of them.
Really?
No. Sometimes I just like to, I really want to be one day. So I just like.
You're halfway there.
Yeah, you know, I already got the scars to prove it.
Oh, shit.
No, but anyways, no, it's cool. You've been doing comedy for almost a year. You like Orlando, doing comedy out there?
I do. Yeah, I drive I drive kind of far now. Like I've been kind of, because I do a lot of mics in Orlando. I think it's great, but now I'm trying to like see like Daytona, Gainesville, a little bit in Tampa. Yeah, I think Orlando is fun. There's a lot of opportunity there, but right now I'm trying to just like go up as often as I can, see, do my jokes work in other places, like the transportability of everything, which I don't think it's like it's not too crazy. My jokes are pretty tame, I think. But yeah, no, I love Orlando. I feel like we have a lot of really great comedians over there, and it just feels good to like get laughs and like because I've seen people that I think are like really funny, and just like not. I don't know. Some of the crowds are really tough, right? Like because I remember I got down on myself when I would like bomb. I was like, oh, I just had great sets recently, and then I would have some not so great sets. But then these comedians who I like look up to and I think they're hilarious, they'll go up and they'll also bomb. Or some of them will work through the bomb. They'll play. It's just really cool to see. Like, so I like the talent. I like all the opportunity that I have. Yeah, I'm probably gonna move though. Like, I'm definitely leaving Orlando.
That was my next question. If you move, where do you think you'd go?
Yeah, so I used to live in Portland, Oregon. I've done some mics over there. I like it there. Probably not going back though. It's too crazy. I think it's just like it's too dirty and expensive. But recently I've been looking at Minneapolis. That's like a new. And usually everyone's like, why Minneapolis? I like it. I don't know how I'm gonna like it in the winter, but I think it'll be good. I don't know. It's a cool city. It's pretty affordable.
They have really good ramen. I've only been at the airport there, and there's a ramen restaurant in the Minneapolis airport. It's a ramen place only. They got like noodles hanging from the ceiling. I'm not even joking. They have noodles all over the place. But best ramen I've ever had in the United States.
That's sick.
Was at that airport.
Yeah, well, there's another big reason. Because I don't want to be in Florida. Like I just moved here for school. And I'm so sick of it.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, I used to live. So when I was 18, I moved to Florida to like, get sober and like do all that stuff. And then 2017, I left because I was like, I hate Florida. Like, I don't love it. I was in South Florida though. And then, I moved somewhere else. I was like, this is great. I like Portland, Oregon. That's where I was at. And then, but now I'm back in Florida. Like I'd already left. I don't know why I'm here. But I do really like Orlando, and I think a lot of why I don't like Florida is I don't like the beach. I hate sand. And some people think that's crazy. I don't. Sand's like really gross. If I go to the beach, it's like a whole day thing.
My husband hates sand.
Yeah.
I used to love the beach because I grew up here. So anytime we'd like skip school, we'd go to the beach and stuff. And my dad taught me how to surf when I was younger. I sucked at it just like every other sport, but I don't like it now. It's a whole day thing, just like you're saying. You gotta like your car gets dirty. You gotta like it's only fun when you're a kid and you have no responsibilities.
No. Yeah, I agree. That's why I moved to Orlando. My partner and I don't know. Well, she went to UCF, so that was easier. But yeah, I was like, Orlando could be cool. And thankfully, like the music scene there is great. The comedy scene, they have great food. That was actually another reason we had to go. Because we were looking up food like in Melbourne, Florida. And it's like, oh, we have great reviews. There's like 4.8 stars. It's like, all right, let's check it out. It's just dog shit. It's literally the worst food. And we were a little spoiled coming from Portland, Oregon. I don't want to get on my high horse, but here I am. But I would get so frustrated. Like you'll get word of mouth reviews like, oh, you got to check out X, Y, and Z. Terrible. It's all terrible. So got to go to that ramen spot in Minneapolis.
Yeah, my husband and I are kind of in the same boat. We're lucky enough to travel outside of Florida. So that's the thing is I think a lot of people that give recommendations in Florida, you should ask them if they've traveled outside of Florida because if not, they don't know what good food is. Orlando, thankfully, I'm sure you're probably going in that direction. Orlando's decent food in certain spots, but like, yeah, Melbourne, it's like even when you find a spot that has good food, It's the only time it's gonna be good, buddy.
The
Because
one
you go
time
there
you got
again,
lucky. Yeah.
it's like inconsistent because like they don't give a fuck about training people down here to keep the food consistent. So like even if you find a spot, because we have a few spots that we're like consistent at around here because we like them, but you order it to go or even like, and then you dine in and it tastes different. I'm like, it shouldn't taste different if I'm ordering it to go. What are you doing to my food? You know?
Yeah.
But it's, the food around here is literally dog shit. There's maybe a few places that they're not good. They're just like, okay, I can't eat at home, so I'm just going to go get this food that isn't bad, but it's not like, it's not as good as like we go to Connecticut a lot and we get good, good pizza up there, there's good food up there, and it's like down here you're like, you're not getting it. So it's just like we expect it. It's just like we just deal with it.
You don't have to live like that. Like it's crazy. It's really, man, it's honestly, it's frustrating. It made me want to move. Like I commute, so I go to school at Florida Tech, which is it's in Melbourne, but I was commuting an hour each way for 2 years. And a lot of that was because of the food. I'll be honest. Like I love good food. I hate spending $12, $13 for the just bland nothing.
No flavor.
Yeah, it's not good. So,
Yeah. I think it's because all the white people are spreading their genetics and it's causing a problem within the community.
It is.
That make good food.
Yeah. That's the first place we went to. It was, I forget the name, which is probably a good thing. But it was like off A1A, off by the beach. It was a Mexican place with a very white sounding name.
By the beach. That's
By
a
the
dead
beach.
giveaway.
I know. We try it and it's just, nothing seasoned. I mean, that's classic stuff. But this, I don't know. This was like a big recommendation. Like, oh, you got to try this. And I was like, I got to get out of fucking Florida, dude. Like,
Yeah, we've gotten
good.
a lot of those recommendations where people are like, this is the best place, and we go there and we're like, what? It's a hot dog. It's nothing special. A hot dog with some fake cheese on it. Sounds great.
Like Cheese Whiz?
Yeah, this is what you eat when you're drunk. I don't drink, so I'm not interested in eating. It's like you'll find good comfort food if you're an alcoholic in Melbourne.
Okay.
You're very satisfied.
Only when you're drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So, you get drunk down here, you find a good woman you might not want to wake up to the next morning, but at least she ate some greasy fried rice the night before.
Yeah. That's actually
it's a trade-off for everything. She's got to go probably because you got to take a shit.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know how I get to these places. I'm sorry.
No, this is
my
good.
brain veers off in 100 different directions.
This is good. I think, all right.
But yeah,
That's fun.
we'll stay here. We're not leaving Florida. We might. We've actually been talking about moving to Jacksonville, and I'm like, why?
Oh, really?
But we want land because we have an acre here, and it's out in it's out in an area.
You can't talk about it?
I was like, I don't know. I don't
All
want.
right.
I just don't know if I want people to know where I'll be living in the future. But we have an acre nearby here, and it's where it's in like BFE of Cocoa. So it's like in the it's like the boondocks of this area kind of. And we bought the property like 3 years ago, but we're just like chilling on it because everything is so expensive. But
Right.
out in Jacksonville, there's some properties that are like cheaper with more acreage. And we're just like, maybe we could just like get more for our money.
Yeah.
But Jacksonville, I'm like, what is there? I know there's some comedy out there, so I'd be good. But I'm like, we got to get jobs. We got to do a whole thing. I feel like that's the only thing I'm like, I don't know if I want to move because that's a lot to do.
I know. You got Duval. You got, isn't that what they say up there? Duval?
I was born there, Duval County.
Oh,
yeah.
all right. So you know.
Yeah, I guess. My parents left a year after I was born, but yeah, Duval County.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. I mean, but a lot of what you're talking about is why I would want to like go to Minnesota, but it is very far away. But I'm already far away from family. I don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're cool with like the snow and the coldness up there, I mean,
I think it's fine. Maybe.
I don't know.
I was in Chicago recently, and like Chicago rips. It's like the third biggest city in the States or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like a similar climate, I think. So
Yeah,
Who
if you're
knows?
cool with it. I was born and
Yeah.
raised here, so I got like warm blood. I enjoy
Yeah.
sweating. I can't do the coldness.
Mm-hmm.
I can do Florida cold, but that's it.
Yeah, that's like nothing.
Yeah, it's like Connecticut summers.
Yeah. Actually, I do like. I think when I left Florida, they had a really bad snow, like a really bad winter in South Florida, and all these iguanas were like freezing and falling out of trees.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And then people would like, because they're cold blooded or whatever, so they'll pick them up, put them in their car, but then they'll warm up in the car, and then they'll like just be awake whipping. Kind of crazy. I don't know.
Insane.
I thought it was cool.
That's crazy. I've only seen one iguana at this house, and it was like just chilling on the back of our pool screen, and I'm just like, that's a big motherfucker. I've never seen him in person other than like the zoo, I guess. You don't really like or Incredible Pets. I think they used to have an iguana.
What is that? What is Incredible Pets?
You know what Incredible Pets is? Maybe
No.
it's just a here thing. I don't know. I thought it was a chain. It's like a pet store that has like a bunch of animals that you can buy that you probably shouldn't buy, you know?
Really?
Yeah. Like they would have like monkeys, just like a monkey just chilling in like a glass cage, or like like just a bunch of weird animals that you don't see at your normal pet store. Like it's not a fish or a bird or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like some weird shit.
That's cool. I used to see like those, like at the mall. Remember malls? Malls are whatever happened. What do they call, like sugar gliders? Do you ever see those?
Yeah.
They're like I think they're Australian or New Zealand, or I don't know. I actually have no idea. But they like fly or something. They jump on. I don't know. That's like the only amazing pet or whatever is that what it's called? Amazing Pets?
Incredible Pets.
Oh, Incredible
It's
Pet.
incredible. I used to work at a car dealership, and this lady, I think she was a vet tech, and this is like 10 years ago, and she had a couple sugar gliders, and apparently they have attachment issues. So if you raise them from like when they're babies, they think, like some animals, they think that you're its mother, but because they have like these crazy attachment issues, she has to keep them with her all day. So they just like live in her shirt.
Wow.
So she like tucks her shirt in, and she just like puts them on her when she would go to work for the day, and they just chill with her all day in her shirt, and like she'll feed them, like she'll keep like food in her pocket, like sugar cane, and she'll just like, they'll come out. Like she would do this at the car dealership while I'm checking her in, just feeding her sugar glider.
That's crazy.
With sugar cane. I'm like, this is the wildest thing I've ever seen. But that's Florida for you.
Man, I can't imagine getting ready for work. It's like, man, wallet, keys, phone,
Sugar
gliders. That's crazy. But yeah, Florida, it's not that crazy for Florida though. So I guess anything could happen here.
Yeah.
You know?
Literally. I'm surprised I haven't seen a guy walking like an alligator with a leash.
Oh. Yeah.
That
I'm
would
not
be
gonna
crazy.
talk about
What?
that.
Have you seen one?
No, but I've no, we're not gonna get into it. But I've seen we can get into a little bit.
Get into it.
I've heard stories of people, you've seen that, people walking on leash. Like people walking their partners on leashes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's similar. I've seen it though.
Oh, so you saw someone dressed as an alligator being walked
they were
on a
just
leash?
missing the alligator, but they had everything else.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's not unique to Florida though. It's but it is crazy to see.
Don't they got a lot of that going on in Portland, Oregon?
They do. A lot. Portland's, I don't know. Portland's cool. They got naked bike rides in Portland.
Dude, I mean, if that's what you're into.
Yeah.
It's always the people you don't want to see on the bikes, though? Like his nutsack is sagging and it's about to hit the exhaust pipe. We don't want to see that happen,
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. But it's always like, every time I've seen a naked bike ride, it's like a bunch of tricked out bikes, which is fine. But like 100, 150 people just naked. I don't know. I always thought that was cool. But maybe not.
I mean, as long as at least 50% of them are good looking, then it's a good time. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to be a spectator,
That's true. I don't know how many I don't know. I
And
don't
how many
think
people are related there? People might be accidentally seeing their grandma's titties while they're
That's
chilling
true.
on the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they don't know because she's got a helmet on.
Right. That's true. I guess I try not to look because I avoid eye contact kind of a lot sometimes. I get a little nervous. And that's with people who are like wearing clothes. So I don't know. I just don't want to like be in my car and like look over and make eye contact with three. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, right?
It's probably better if you make eye contact because if you're not making eye contact, then you're looking at everything else.
Oh,
Unless you
well,
want to
no.
be making eye contact, I don't know.
No, I'm not. I'm not looking.
Unless
at their...
you got like
That's
different, you got full time perception of all the things.
Yeah. No, I'll glance, but I don't
Yeah.
want. It's not a sustained glance. I'm like, I'll look and I'll get out of there because I don't want to. I don't want to talk to these people. You know. These people, that's crazy. Hang on. But if someone's so confident they're riding their bike naked in public, like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, like it's too early for this, they're definitely going to want to talk to me. They're willing to strike up a conversation that I'm probably not willing to have. Like I'm just not. Like,
if you take your shirt off, you'll be ready.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. No, so Portland's not it. Can't do it. Can't go back. I don't know. But neither is Florida. So, like, I feel like both places have their kind of crazy. You know, you hear about Florida man. I don't even know if that's true anymore. But, like, you know, Florida man does X, Y, Z. Have you've heard of that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to do a Florida woman joke. I still need to figure that out because people don't really talk about the Florida woman. I'm just like, I need something, but every joke I've come up with that pertains to that is like not good. I'm like, I need something. I'm sure something will come along. I've been trying to write more because I've been slacking real heavy because I've been so focused on just like going places I've been doing more shows than open mics.
That's
I'm
good.
trying to transition back to more open mics than shows because I got to a point to where I like almost stopped writing to a level because I was like working so much on my existing stuff. So I'm excited to get back to like writing and doing that. So I've been trying to do it for at least 30 minutes every day. But what do you do? What's your thing?
Well, we're how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
It's not great. Recently, I haven't been writing as much as I want. So I used to like really just try to think about, well, what do I want to talk about, and like make lists of things. Like, well, what do I know about like bowling? I try to do a bowling bit because I love bowling. No one likes it, but I talk about everything I know about bowling. Like, okay, like bowling, balls, I don't know, pins, gutter, get my head out of the gutter. Like I'll try to like make connections and then see if I can derive something funny. Like, oh, it's dirty balls. Is that funny? No, but maybe I can get there, right? So I used to make a lot of lists and see like what comes up, and that's if I'm like trying to set aside time, like 30 minutes a day. Usually though, I'll just be driving or like, you know, living life, and I'll think of something kind of funny. I'll think of like a punchline for something, and then I'll jot that down. And then I'll just try to collect all of those and then write whatever I can, because I like to try to distill my jokes into like a quick one-liner or two-liner, just a very quick setup punch to see if it's funny. Then the idea is I'll flesh it out more if it is, but I'm not really good at that last part because I have like a ton of very short jokes, but I need to write like more tags for them, I think. So yeah, my process is not very standardized, but I think it's just because I'm so busy. I'm doing a lot of shows also, and just I like the material I've been working with, doing like 15-minute sets. I think I'm having fun, but I need to write more because it's going to get stale. So we'll see. It's not that standardized or structured, but it's fine. It works for me, you know.
Yeah, whatever works for you. Because I do the same thing, like the passive writing. I just have my phone. I just keep my phone on me. But I motivated myself by buying a notebook. I'm like, bitch, get to writing. You need to write. Just because my stuff particularly, like you're saying, just like I'm starting to feel the staleness, and I know if I don't like my own stuff, other people aren't gonna like my stuff. So I need to start evolving. Do you go through like the stages like where you feel yourself like versus like, okay, so you first start and you feel like you're just like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm writing jokes, I'm in it, getting comfortable, and then like you get to that next level where you look back and you're like, oh, I've evolved from that first stage and now I'm focused on different things. I don't know, do you feel like you go through stages, kind of like you feel like you're transitioning into different stages as you go through comedy, or
I don't know. I
no?
don't think like, because I hear like I still really like a lot of the jokes I do. Like I'm actually not that bored with my material still. I'm even trying to bring some more. Like I have a lot of jokes that haven't even been working that well, and I haven't even edited them, but I still like to tell them because sometimes they work, but they're a little confusing. But yeah, I don't know if I guess my writing is because everything's like very distilled and short. And I don't know. I'm not sick of telling it. I like to keep it as tight as I can and just I don't know, just keep going. But I don't know if I'm maybe like the content that I'm talking about, maybe that's changing a little bit. But I don't know. Is that so? So what do you? Can you give me an example?
Well, I guess like, okay, so like for me, my perception of myself on stage and my goals over time have changed. Cause like when I first started, it was always like, my first goal was like, I just want to get on stage. Just got to get on stage. And when I got on stage, I had the perception of like, all right, I got to get booked on a show. Time to get booked on a show kind of thing. And then I was at I guess a stage. The stage I'm talking about was where I was just like, my comedy is still pretty basic, but it was very like basic. I didn't understand comedy at all yet. I mean, I understand how to make a joke, I guess. Thankfully, I get that part and I was able to learn that early. But all the other aspects of it, like I didn't even understand that that was a thing yet. So when I was in that first stage, I was just like, get on stage. Like that was the only thing I was getting for. And then like now I feel like I've transitioned. Well, even before that, I transitioned to like, all right, get booked on as many shows as possible. Just get on stage, make this person laugh. Man, I was worried about, not worried, but I was focused on different things in this stage versus like the first one. And now I'm in this stage where I'm just like, all right, now my goal is to just get like comfortable on stage, no matter, I don't care where or what I'm performing, just to get comfortable on stage and do as many big stages outside of my area as I can while I can, kind of thing. And just like my goals and my perspective, like things that I've wanted have changed over time. And just like, I don't know, just like evolution. I'm seeing an evolution from a third perspective, and it's not maybe something that anybody else can relate to. It's just the way I've been going through my stand-up journey, as gay as it sounds.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, it's pretty gay.
you know, I don't know. I just, I don't know if you've felt like an evolution within yourself over time, or if your goals have changed over time, things like that.
Yeah, that's really helpful. I think they have changed. So in the beginning, yeah, it was just getting comfortable working through my material, and then eventually it's like, oh, I want that tight 5. Like, how can I get the most laughs per minute or whatever in this 5-minute period, so that I can hopefully get booked on shows. And then from there, I'm like, yeah, now at this point, I'm starting to do longer sets, and I need more material, right? Like I have a lot of short jokes that I could stretch out a little bit, but so that's starting to change. Now I'm like, oh, well, how do I just do 50 like 2-liner jokes, or do I try different types of jokes? Like now I can try a story, because I've always liked storyteller comedians, but I've been to too many open mics where people try to tell a story and it just does not go well, right? Because there aren't really jokes in there. So I'd like to try like more storytelling,
But punchy.
Yeah, but add little jokes, make it punchy.
Mhm.
And I have a couple bits that do that, but not too much. Because I don't know. Because I do a lot of misdirection, so set up, punch, set up, punch. But just by having that pattern over and over again, it becomes predictable. So the idea was like, oh, if I add stories, it'll mix it up a little bit. That's kind of like a misdirect, I get. The audience wouldn't expect it.
Mhm.
So yeah, so my goals now are like, oh, more material, try different types of jokes. But sometimes like my goal will change. So that's my goal now. But like if I'm doing a set and I'm just like I'm bombing, my goal might change right then. It's like, okay, well let's see how hard I can bomb. Let's practice building tension and then see if I can dig myself out of this hole that I'm getting buried into.
Mhm.
Because maybe that's fun, right? Because no one's I don't know.
It's a learned skill too that I feel like you have to have no matter what, because no
Mhm.
matter what, where you, like, even if I feel you hear like professional comedians talk about it, they travel certain places where people don't like their stuff, and that's like works them out the hardest, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good that you do that. I feel like I should do that more often instead of faltering to a joke in my pocket that most likely is going to get a laugh because I've been using it forever,
Mm-hmm.
instead of being like, all right, let me like just do this new shit and see how I can get myself out of this. So
Yeah, that's what I
yeah.
want to do is like commit more. Because sometimes I'll commit to a joke, and if the punchline doesn't hit as hard as like I built it up in my head, then I won't like renege on it, but I'll definitely be like, oh, I'll add in a couple. I'll ramble something to to force a laugh. When really I want to, because I want to work on like that deadpan delivery, just commit to the bit, no matter what, no matter whether the audience laughs or don't. And that's like a new thing I want to work on more, because I'm always so impressed when people just commit, like Anthony Jeselnik. He'll just really commit to just being like a confident, like a dick sometimes,
Mhm.
right? It's really cool to see, because like even if the audience reacts, doesn't react, who cares? He's like giving, that's his persona, and that's something I want to work on. I think is just being like, write what I think is funny and then commit to it, regardless of whether the audience laughs or not. Because
Mhm.
I always do that. Like I'll say something, oh that was, I don't know. I'll take it back like almost immediately if the audience doesn't give me what I think it deserves. But fuck them, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's one thing I still try like to not like, I don't know. I guess I just like I'm still figuring out what I want to be as a comedian, because I know I want to be myself, right?
mhm,
But I also want to make sure my jokes aren't, first of all, hacky for a woman, because there's a lot of I nothing against women, but like a lot of women jokes like that you hear, it's a almost consistent across the board kind of topics. So I don't know.
I
I'm
don't know
just
what you're talking about.
no. I hear. Just like when you go to like not just like not professional comedians, because there's several professional female comedians that I look up to that I think are hilarious. But I also see the things that I've said at open mics that are very similar to the same thing every other woman is saying at an open mic. So I want to get myself to where I'm talking about my personal experience and my own perspective, and that's not generic
Mhm.
a generic statement. That's like, because I lean into like the anti-feminism stuff,
Mhm.
but it's a lot of like you know, hacky statements like, I think women should get beat again. Like I hate when I do jokes like that, because I'm just like, Alex, you can be smarter than that. So I'm glad I have that push, because I'm like, I know I want to get to a more intelligent level to where I'm still talking about myself, but it's also funny at the same time. So like when you're talking about like the storytelling type stuff, like I
Mhm.
would like to do stuff like that, because I love storytelling comedians, but the same thing, like anytime I tell a story, it's not punchy at all. But that's the thing, is
Mhm.
like to take it and make it funny is like that's the next goal that I want to get to, aside from just the comfortability. But yeah, I feel you on that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, I know I definitely don't want to end like a story with you had to be there, cuz that's not great. You know, I want to be able to tell a story to where it's funny in its own right, not like you don't have to be dependent on all this other context. Like, oh, you have to know my friends, you have to know our dynamics, because that's what happens. I think when I see a lot of people just tell stories, it's just like I'm not invested as an audience member. I guess like I don't know. But it's really hard to do. So when I see like professional comedians do it, I'm like, oh, this is sick. So I want to work towards that. But like when you're doing a 5-minute spot at an open mic, like it's just so hard to do. Like my longest story I'll do is like 40 seconds, which is not that long. But yeah, I don't know. Still working on that, I think.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, my yesterday Monday was me trying to do longer stuff. And cuz like when I think of like the basic of like setup, anticipation punchline, I can usually like take a subject and be like, all right, I can get something, but I don't, it's not my personal preference of jokes. Like I'm not like good with it by any means. That's not what I'm saying, but like I don't enjoy that. So like when I'm writing these longer jokes, I'm like totally bombing every time I use them, because I'm like, this is like, I'm trying to push myself to do it. So I'm like, I need to do, like I said, the more personal stuff. So it's like, I mean, the bombing's good. I'll take the bombing, whatever. But it's like, yeah, it's not easy for sure.
Yeah, I hear people talk about like, oh, get more personal. And like I guess I don't do that. Like a lot of the jokes I do, I feel like almost anyone could tell them. But I think so I don't know. Like I'm not getting as personal as like I want. Like I don't know. I want to work on that also. Like maybe just through stories, but I don't mind like coming up with like a generic, it's not hacky, but just like a quick short joke that maybe anyone could have written, but I don't know. But I still think I've kind of etched my own style, whether it's like a little quirky or whatever. So it feels true to me, but it's not personal. Like, yeah, because I see other people, they'll tell stories like super unique to them. It's about their culture, where they grew up, and all this stuff, and it'd be really hard for someone to like steal that or whatever. I think that's where a lot of that value comes from, like being personal, like that's your material. No one else can do those jokes. But for me, if anyone has ever been bad at their job, you could do half of my set, which is a little vulnerable, but fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even worry about that. Like, I don't bar myself from writing shorter stuff because it's fun. But like, if that's you're representing you on stage, period. It doesn't matter. You do whatever you want, you know?
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like, as long as you're, I hear a lot of people get like annoyed with the advice of like, be yourself. But I think that's like literally like number one, because I got to a point for a few months there where I was like, so focused on the technicalities of writing and the technicalities of performing that I wasn't being myself on stage at all. And I had a complete disconnect from the audience. I was bomb after bomb after bomb on shows. Like open mics, I expect it, but I had 3 bombs in a row, and I'm like, what is going on? And I finally realized, I'm like, I watched a video of myself, and I'm just like, oh, Alex, that's not even you. What are you doing? So when I started doing more like the list thing, I learned that from C. Dillard. He was showing me how I'm not like giving away his goods or anything. I'm sure like a lot of comics write like that, but just like take your subject that you know kind of what you're going to talk about, and just write that subject down and just kind of let yourself free flow. That helped like teach me to like be in the moment. And I feel like if I'm being myself and I'm in the moment and I'm connecting with the crowd, all I then need is the jokes. So as long as I can make all that mesh together, which obviously is the ultimate goal of comedy, kind of, but it's like to make it all work and get laughs. But it's just like learning that, going through the process. I'm cool with figuring it out over time.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. That's yeah, it's definitely something that I wanna try to do a lot more. But I don't wait. So, shit, I just lost my train of thought. God damn it. No, I think it's good to write like that. Like, and I try to stick with that. I don't mind if if other people could potentially steal my joke because I have my own style and all that. I think it's really good. Oh, there, I just got it. So I think a lot of that comes because when I first started like performing comedy, like I would almost memorize my jokes like verbatim. And when I go up on stage, it almost sounded a little robotic, which, you know, maybe the joke, and some of those jokes I still do today, but like they feel less robotic because they're not as, I guess, over rehearsed. It just didn't feel genuine. And you could tell when like if you're listening to a speech and someone's reading their paper, you could feel that difference versus if they would have just memorized it and they're kind of going off. Like they're even just something as simple as that, it affects how the audience like will perceive it. And so I really would try to like just remember like my setup, my punch, and then riff my way through that, I guess, because then it feels more genuine. Maybe I can engage with the audience a little more and just, I don't know, say something quirky and just kind of get them on my side. But we'll see. I'm still working on that, I guess, being more personable. But it is fun. Yeah, that's a cool tactic that C does.
Yeah, it helped me get out of that because I was doing the same thing for those few months. I was being robotic and like just I was literally in my living room with not a hairbrush, but a lint roller without the lint roller on it, and I would practice word for word for an hour, just practice. And I'm like, okay, Alex, you're doing this wrong. This is not how this is supposed to be done. This is not a, play. You're not doing a play. You're not playing a person. You need to just. So when I same thing with the list, it's helped me with my sets because like my jokes, I'm just like my prepared jokes that I do for shows when I'm not doing notes at open mics and stuff. It's like I can kind of do that in between stuff just to get to my punchline. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, but no, it's cool. It's cool. Fun. I think we're like
oh yeah,
I don't know. How are you? You know the time? Sorry, I don't want to.
6:20. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while.
Shit.
I definitely want to have you. I mean, we can keep talking.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't realize what time it was. Yeah. We got something going on.
Yeah,
so.
We got Moon Room.
Let's
go. Let's go. Have fun.
Okay, let's do that. That would be fun.
Yeah. But you want to shout out your Instagram, your any family members. Shout out to your uncle.
Living, dead, which ones? All right. I got an Instagram. Zach.Hesson. It's very...
Zach.Hesson. Yeah. Go check him out. He's going to be murdering at the Comedy Mothership very soon here.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to buy a ticket soon. All right, cool.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for
having me. Let's go to Moon Room.
Let's go. Blast off. All right.
She keep working that bed and I'm about to throw the shit.